once again welcome back to the DSA DAX series day 17. Today we're gonna solve question number 1678. It's basically goal parser interruption question, and this is the DSA series where we can start from the absolute beginner to the advanced level of DSA. Okay, and the main motto of this series is to master DSA. Okay, from starting absolute basics. And yesterday we solved question number 771. It's basically jewels and stones question, where we have to like a comparison between jewels and stones and identify number of stones which are in category, like types of zones. Okay, these questions are simple. The main the like challenge is the letters are case sensitive. Okay, and if you have not watched yesterday's video, link in I button. Okay, you can watch yesterday's question. And now we move to the today's part. So first I'll explain question, then we move to the examples of given, then I'll explain the approaches, what approaches are there for this question. Then we move to the code part, and after writing code, we move to the its time and space complexity. Then we move to the tomorrow's question. Okay. So without wasting any time, let's start. So I'll quickly explain question. So you own a gold parasol. Okay, you own a gold parasol that can interpret a string. Okay, your string of command. Okay, the command consists of alphabets. Okay, your string consists of alphabets of G. Okay, parenthesis and slash or. Okay, means or like it's there or in some cases are not there. Okay, and like this in parenthesis AL. In some order, the goal parser will interrupt G. Okay, in some cases, this will interrupt G as the string G, and okay, in parentheses as the string O. Okay, if there are parentheses, you have to consider as a O, and in like parentheses AL, you have to consider as the AL string. Okay, the interpret strings are the concurrented in the original order. Okay, you have to like return this part in a original version. Okay, what's the original version of this? Given the string command, return the goal parser interruption card. Okay, you have to write like another string result which is original version of that. Okay, let we see example one so you can clear better. So here are example one. So command is G, okay, parenthesis and in parenthesis AL. So for G you can write directly G. For parenthesis you have to write O, okay, yes, okay, and in parenthesis AL it means AL, so it's become GOAL, okay, and you can read explanation is also given. Okay, this is not rocket science; it's simple explanation. So you can get it what the question is trying to say. Okay, now we move to the conditions parts of this question. So command dot length is greater than or equal to 1 and less than and equal to 100. Okay, it's basically between 1 and 100 range. Command consists of okay G string G, okay, string parenthesis, okay, in some cases in like what I'm talking about, in parenthesis AL or not. Okay, in some order this exists, in some not exist. Okay, so I hope you are clear about questions. Now we move to the approaches. What approaches for this? Okay. So we already learned approaches basically depends upon for loop. So we iterating from each and every strings parts. Okay. And take if conditions, else if and multiple conditions until we can check it. Okay. And use some operators for checking multiple conditions if there is starting parenthesis or is ending parenthesis. If both exist, we can write as O. Okay, we have to take new string and store it. Okay, this approach is first approach. Okay, and someday, like before, I'll teach you one more thing. Okay, it's basically replace the inbuilt functions replace. Okay, so okay, we also gonna use this to question by replace inbuilt function. Okay, and you have to which inbuilt function I did you have to return it or you have to remember this inbuilt function. Okay, this is IMP inbuilt function which is can be used multiple times. Okay, so now we move to the code part. So now we move to the code part of this question. First, we need one another string. Okay, empty string to store. So I'll take an result string. Okay, For arrays question, we take an empty array. For strings question, we take an empty string. Okay, now we have an empty strings of result. Then we have to take one for loop. For loop for iterating. Okay, each and every index is, how we're gonna iterate. So let I is equal to 0. I is less than. Okay, less than from what? Command dot length. Okay, then I plus plus. So now we have one for loop and each and everything. So firstly we have to take an if condition to check if command, okay, of I is triple equal to, because we are working with string. For character we use single quotes and for string we use double quotes. Okay, you have to remember this thing. If the commands of I triple equals to G, it means if the character is in commands of I is G, so whatever we have to push in our new string is result. Okay, like from directly we write result plus. If we're gonna use array, so we have to do like result dot push. For string we directly add result plus equal to, okay, the, like currently whatever in result, after that we add directly z. Okay, capital Z. Okay, so now we have stored our g in our string. Now what if, so if another thing, okay, because we have multiple conditions, so commands, okay, commands of I, it's command, okay, not commands. Okay, command of I equal to, like, parenthesis, okay, and okay. Now what we have, if this conditions follows and command of I plus 1, okay, is also equal to this one and the ending of the parenthesis. So whatever we have to do is result plus equal to O. Okay, O, our what I'm like this one. O, we have to push this O. So okay, and else if, okay, now last conditions, command of I, it's basically equal to our, like, this parenthesis, okay, this parenthesis and command of I plus 1 is equal to the, okay. Now we are, you can see here, if the starting is like this parenthesis, okay, and the command of I plus 1 is equal to A, then we can directly, okay, result plus equal to EL. Okay, A and L. Okay, for here we have to be some things we missed here. If you can see here, we iterating two places, because first this I is moving, but I plus 1 value comes in the next iteration, but we already used that part here, so we have to use I plus plus. What for I plus plus? Because you next term we use this bracket. Okay, so whenever in next iteration this come, we don't need, so we directly skip that part. Okay, but here we're using multiple parts. Okay, so what I am trying to say is, here we use I plus equal to 3. Okay, now you might like doubting why I'm using 3. Okay, so first for A, okay, second for L, okay, and third for this. So for these 3 we don't want to check another time, so for that part we're using I plus equal to 3, so skip 3. Now we have all of conditions, so we'll directly return our result. Okay, so first we run example test cases. Okay, and if any kind of runtime error will come, so now you can see this code has done nothing in error, so we directly submit for further late code test cases check. So you can see that our answer is accepted and all 105 test cases are passed. Okay. So now this is our first approach. Okay. Simple approach like we depends upon loop and conditions like if else and else if. Okay. Like this is beginner friendly approach. Okay. But now we like completed around 15 days. So now we how to use inbuilt function, how we can use. Okay. So in this question we gonna use replace inbuilt function, which I already told you how the replace inbuilt functions work. Okay. For this question I'll explain more about the syntax of it and the working of it. Okay. So firstly I remove this part of code. Okay. Then we want to, and inbuilt function like replace and everything is like one liner solution. You have to do each and every part in return string. Okay. So first I'll take return. Okay. For this type of part, or each and everything is working return. Now command. Okay. Given string is command dot replace. Okay. Now we have completed our basic part. So what I'm talking first this and this. Okay. What is this? It's basically syntax of our replace. Okay. And here whatever we have to do we can write it here. Okay. Now what we have to compare. Okay, we have to check for our parenthesis. Okay. Curly brackets, not curly brackets. Okay, it's basically uh what these brackets. Okay. For checking we cannot directly use because this is special like special character, so we have to use their different syntax. So for that we use like this. Okay. Slash and parenthesis. Okay. And we have to check for both parentheses. Okay. So left parenthesis completed, for right parenthesis you have to do again slash parenthesis. Okay. So here this means, okay, this. Okay, parenthesis, for writing parenthesis in replace we have to use this. Okay. And now G means, I already wrote, G means global. It will check for each and every like part of this string. And inside what we write O, because we want O to print. Okay. But this is half. Okay. So we have to again use replace. Okay. Replace, and inside replace I'll already tell you how we gonna use. So in this part we just have to check for like AL, or is there AL or not. So first this. Okay. Parenthesis. Okay. Let me correct this part. Now this is correct. This will become parenthesis, and this will also become parenthesis. And for writing simple characters, this, like here we directly write simple characters. After that, whatever we have to simple is AL. Now this part is completed. Just I'll run this. Okay. So this type of inbuilt functions are basically created to help and improve your time. Okay. So you don't have to write bigger answer. You just use this and remove your 4 5 lines of code and basically convert one line or two lines. Okay. Wait, like it's basically reload page error. Okay. We'll check this. Okay. So I'll submit this question. So you can see the submission is ongoing. Okay, answer is accepted and runtime is 44 ms. So firstly, I'll discuss what is the time and space complexity for this. Okay, this approach. For this approach, like space complexity becomes order of n. We using an entire new string while using replace and like that functions. We are taking new string to store anything. Okay, so space complexity is order of n, and time complexity is also order of n. because this replace function will move to the each and every indexes of string. Okay, so time and space complexity both are order of n, and for our first approach, we are using one for loop and and new string the result. So for that part, time complexity and space complexity also order of n. Okay, so I hope you got clear about our two approaches and questions and how code gonna write. Okay, so now we move to the tomorrow's questions. It's basically 1, 7, 6, 8 and merge the. Okay, let me show you 1, 7, 6, 8. So it's basically merge the string alternatively. Okay, again this question is based on string, but this is some like a higher level. Okay, improving your logic. So I'll quickly explain what is it. Question: you are given a two string word one, word two. Merge the string by adding letters in alternatively order. Okay, you have to merge the string by adding in alternative orders. Okay, each and every. If here in string one given ABC and string two given as PQR, so you have to write AP, okay, BQ and CR. Okay, like that here given in output APBQCR. Okay, so you have to merge like in this order. So you have to try this question. Okay, and this is a simple question. Okay, you can do it. Okay, and again if you can complete this question and post it on LinkedIn and Twitter and mention me. So I hope you got clear about today's everything. If you find any doubt, just ask me in comments. And if you not started yet DSA with the series, link in link in I button. You can start now and master DSA with us. Okay. Thanks for watching the video. Meet in day 18. Okay.